Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Michu Lyrical Monasterio deck profile for Post-Festival Booster 2023. We did get a new Grade 3 for the Michu deck in the Festival Booster 2023. We also got the reprint for the very pricey Grade 1 support. That's definitely helpful for the good majority of the Lyrical Monasterio decks. I wouldn't say it's easier to build, but reprints are reprints, and with some of the other new cards we got from the set, I felt like this deck, being one of my favorites for Lyrical Monasterio, definitely did need an update. We also had the promotional card in set 9, where you could get the alternate idol form of Michu and Nokno, and making it more readily available if you wanted to build the deck in that form of the promos. Let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the ride deck, our starter is Afternoon Dance Lesson, Michu, the standard when rode upon. If you want second, draw a card. The grade 1 is Happy Shopping Michu. When it's placed by riding from a grade 0 with Michu, search your deck for up to 1 all set up, put it into your order zone, and shuffle your deck. So the all set up is one of the orders that you place to begin your initial order play that the deck is meant to utilize for your cards. So you have the search setup thanks to this grade 1, and our grade 2 is Sparkling Summer Michu. With this card, when placed by riding from a grade 1 card with Michu and its card name, you then can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 Nokno card or Cannonball card from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So then you have more search, whether it be for your other order, which is the Flower Cannonball, or the actual glitter unit, because this is a glitter deck on top of being a Lyrical Monasterio deck. Being able to add that glitter unit for the added backup for your back row as well gives you more of a play setup in the deck to utilize, with our main grade 3 being the first to head towards a Dream Michu. This card is our go-to for the Persona Ride power that you can do in the deck, and also just the added play style. But for the other cards, before we get to the grade 3s, we'll go over the orders. I run the all setup, which is your main go-to order for your initial setup from the order zone. If you have a Vanguard with Michu and its card name, you can rest this card, and then also Soul Charge 1, choose 1 Cannonball card from your hand and put it into your order zone, so it doesn't take away from you being able to activate other multiple cannonballs in the same turn as well. The Cannonball, Flower Cannonball, however you want to call it, is the same for your card to activate, just being able to place it in the order zone and then being able to add that additional card from your deck to your hand as well. So it's very, very useful for that additional power, being able to then have the multiple Flower Cannonballs set up, which for the Flower Cannonballs, we are also running 4 copies of that card as well. You play this card with a counterblast of 1. When this card is put into the order zone, you draw a card. So if you just place it with your all set up order card, then you don't have to play it, since you just choose one and you put it into your order zone. You're not playing the actual card, so you can get around the counterblast use that this card is meant to do. But with this card being just when it's put into the order zone, you still get the draw card if you activate with all set up, or if you activate it off of just being a normal order card. And then also with this card in the order zone, if you have a grade 3 or grade card with Michu and its card name, you can put this card into your drop zone, change all your Vanguard's Cannonball abilities to on Vanguard. When this unit attacks, you can Soul Blast 2, choose 3 of your units, and they get plus 10,000 power until end of turn. So you just add an added way to add boosted power to your units on the field, whether you give it to, let's say, one of your Vanguards and then also to a couple of your rear guards. You have that additional power instead of the actual unit power for your Michu, which we are also running 3 copies of. There is another order for the deck where you can either add a Nokno off of it or a countercharge, but our new grade 3 Go-Go Street Corray has a countercharge ability, and it also gives you a unit on top of it, which I find it to be better if you're just going to use an order, and on top of that you want to be able to use your cannonball orders. And the promo for the order is a little more difficult to get a hold of, so if you don't have it, you don't have to play it. You can mix it around with the grade 3 number. But for our first to head towards the Dream Michu on the Vanguard circle, once per turn, if you have all set up in your order zone, counterblast 1, draw a card, choose a card from your hand, and call it to rear guard or discard it. And Cannonball, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 2, choose 1 of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and this unit gets plus plus 5,000 till end of battle. So that is the ability that you replace with your Cannonball ability of your Flower Cannonball, giving you more of a power boost for your units instead of the retire power that this card meant to do. And it also has the Glitter ability, which it performs with your other unit in the deck, being your go-to setup with this card, giving you more of a power thanks to the Dream Michu that it can do. And then for the new grade 3, running 4 copies of Go-Go Street Carré. This card really does help with the overall power that you are meant to use for the deck, being able to then just have more of a setup when this unit's placed on the rear guard by the ability of your Vanguard. With Lilfa or Michu and its card name, you can Soul Blast 2, countercharge 1, and this unit gets plus 5,000 till end of turn. So on top of the plus 10,000 that you can also provide thanks to your Michu in the deck, you can also have this unit give you that counter charge just like the other order that I spoke of before, and get an actual unit on the field also for you to use, and then also have the unit get plus 5,000 power, having a 13k body on the field, which once again, if you just draw a card off of Michu, then you can just call this card out onto the field. And I also run for the grade 2s. I don't really run too many grade 2s in the deck. You have the grade 3s, you have the orders you have to work with, and then just the other grade 1 setup. So for the grade 2s, just 2 copies of Schedule Coordinating Remery. You could potentially run the new one as well. What color is your wish of Ashbablan? When it's discarded, having the option to draw a card. It's the new grade 2 we've been getting from the Dragon Masquerade set. If you want to replace it with this card just has an option when a grade 3 or greater unit, or if your order zone has all set up, it gets plus 1,000, and when it attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, so it has to attack either your opponent's Vanguard or a grade 3 rear guard, and when this unit attacks, you can Soul Blast 1, choose a Cannonball card from your drop, and put it into your order zone, being able to then just recycle your Cannonball orders that you have in the drop zone thanks to this card as well. So pretty useful for that play, being able to just to reuse the ones that you set up in the drop zone to begin with. For the grade 1s, I run 4 copies of Shy Vocal Nokno from the drop zone. When a card is put into your order zone, if you do not have a unit with Nokno in its card name, Soul Blast 1, call this card to rear guard in your back row center rear guard. So it's more search power thanks to this card just being able to then have your back row rear guard, because then with the Glitter with Michu from the back row center rear guard, at the end of the battle, your Vanguard attack, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, counter plus 1, discard a card from your hand, stand this unit and swap positions with your Vanguard until that, and then after the end of this turn, swap their positions back. So you can give your power that Michu provides with Flower Cannonball to Nokno, swapping them, and it'll still keep the power boost thanks to that card. Then you can attack into your opponent, and since you're attacking with a grade 1, it stops any of the grade 3 abilities they may try to use against your Vanguard, since you have a grade 1 Vanguard with this attack. If you have the over trigger power, it's all the better, which I'll go over when we get to that spot. But I also run 3 copies of Shutter Chance of Stealth. When this unit attack that boosts hits the Vanguard, if your order zone has all set up, look at the top 5 cards and choose up to 1 glitter or set order from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you revealed a card, put this unit onto the bottom of the deck. Now, I've been mixing around some of the numbers of what I want to run in the deck with this card. Either the Ilsk, because it can also search your glitter unit, or the next card, which I run 2 copies of, which is the Clear Shimmer Aura. When this unit when the attack this unit boosted hits, retire this unit, search your deck for up to 1 order card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So this card just gives you the automatic search for the Flower Cannonball, which is the one weakness of the deck, just not having enough of this card to utilize with your Vanguard. But you don't have the search power with Shutter Chance Ilse either. So I've been going back and forth with these numbers, but you can completely increase the number of these cards if you don't have the other grade 1 that I run, which is Cooling Heart Yuikia. It's definitely a pricey card. Even the reprint we had from the Festival Booster is quite up there in price. It's draw power for this card, also just being able to bounce units back to your hand as well for a Soul Blast power. But if you didn't have this card, you can just increase the number of your other units to full 4 of numbers and then take this card out. With the last of the grade 1s being 4 Sentinel. Just for this deck, I'm running the Diva of Refreshing Calm Christine. Just Sentinel choice. There's really no specifics for the Sentinels you'd have to run in this deck anyway. And then for the trigger lineup, running 4 copies of Precious Tune Edwidge and 3 copies of the Wings Dancing in the Blue Skies Antia, just for the critical pressure, on top of being able to swap your Vanguard, the 4 copies of the Transparent Snowy Night Baratois, and also the 2 copies of the Hushed Diva Hortense, the 1 copy of Two of Us Rhyme, and the 1 copy of Two of Us Flow for the additional heal power, with both of these cards having the additional guard options. With our over trigger being the Spiritual King King of Aquatics with this card. Choose a card from your drop zone, put it into your hand, and choose one of your units, and it gets critical +1 till end of turn. So if you reveal this card off of Michu, you can give the 100 million and the critical +1 to your Nokno, because then you have this rear guard that you're going to swap positions with, having a 100 million, the additional drive check, and also the extra critical that this card provided. And you can also use this over trigger to add back your flower cannonballs as well, since it just says choose a card from your drop zone. So another great way to add this card back to your hand thanks to it. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Really happy with the results of the deck. And like I said, this card has had some reprints in the form of those promo cards, making it much more readily available for people to want to build it. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.